The attendant monk remarked to Kimosho, "Please sit here. The Zen Master will be here in a minute." Kimosho had travelled to a well-known Zen monastery to see his Zen master. It was his desire to have tea with the enlightened beings. Why stop at a cup of tea? It was once said that Zen masters could impart all of their wisdom in just over a cup of tea. Kimosho sat down and noticed a dong bell. Soki Mosho, the attendant monk, glanced at the bell and stated, "He wants me to strike the bell." Kimosho said, "Yes, indeed." The attendant picked up the stick and rang the bell once. It was an incredible sound. The humming sound of the bell filled the air with a peaceful sound that cleared the air of bad ideas, stated the attendant monk as he laid the striking rope down and went. Kimosho examined the bell with much curiosity. He believed that the boom had purged the air of negative ideas, but it had surely cleared his mind. But it wasn't long before his mind became preoccupied with ideas again. Over a cup of tea, how might the Zen master help him become a better person? How can I get the most out of it? Will he allow me to take a selfie with him? The master burst into the room. He had a medium-height shaved head and wore a black robe. Kimosho rose to meet the master, but the master motioned for him to stay seated. The master sat down and glanced at Kimosho. Kimosho began by expressing his admiration for Zen Buddhism and his desire to visit Japan to learn more about it. The Zen teacher smiled and continued to listen. Kimosho recognized he was the only one speaking, so he fell silent and requested that the master teach him the Zen learnings and teachings. A Zen master struck a paper fan on the ground. Kimosho had no idea what the master was saying. "Well, this is Zen," the master smiled. Kimosho continued staring at the master, unsure what had just transpired. The Zen master remained laughing, and he recognized that this was not what Kimosho had come to see from such a distance, and that explaining Zen in its purest form to a person would be unjust. If the message is not received, the Zen master inquired of the attendant if the tea was ready. The attendant delivered the kettle and then departed. The master poured water into the kettle and let it to simmer until steam emerged. The chamber quickly filled with steam, and Kimosho couldn't see the master. "Kimosho, do you see me?" the master said from behind the murky air. Kimosho said that all he could see in the room was the vapor from the boiling water, and that everything was foggy. The master's voice seemed distant, like if someone were speaking over the clouds. "So, you see, I'm still sitting where I was before I started making this tea, but because everything is shrouded by smoke, you can't see me. That does not imply I am not present. You are." "No," Master Kimosho answered. "I'm not going to ask the attendant, 'Can you see us, monk?' I cannot see you, teacher, nor can I see Kimosho now for the outer world," the Zen master said to his attendant monk. "I and you have both vanished in the same cloud of steam, and we have become one with it. There is no Kimosho or master, only a cloud of vapor. We have fused into one. So tell me how I can explain to you Zen. Who is there to teach you since I am not present? And who is there to learn because you are also not present? So how can I be your teacher? Our egos have vanished. I can describe Zen to you in this cloud, and without our egos, but with an ego, it's as complex as me hitting the floor with my fan." Kimosho abruptly snapped out of his profound concentration. With this master's teachings, he was virtually transported into a meditation session. He understood what the master was saying to the rest of the world. The entire room was filled with cloud vapor, but inside the clouds the teacher and learner were talking themselves into one. He understood there was nothing more to learn about Zen. The entire meaning was clear. Lose your ego, and you are one with what you desire. The seeker and the sword are one and the same. They are only hidden from themselves. Only the mists of ideas and ego must be wiped away before the genuine instruction can be shown. But why did the Zen Master knock my fan to the ground? Why did he produce a sound in a silent room? The sound was presumably a representation of the ideas, and the quiet was a representation of the mind. Kimosho exited the room. There was no need to say farewell to the master because there was no master in the room, only clouds. Kimosho walked calmly out of the monastery through the haze-filled room.
Please subscribe to my channel Lessons of Life and press the bell notification icon.